Remember, there's some pretty important information here in the disclaimer. You might want to give the video a quick pause and read it.
Hello my friends, this is WickAngel 2001 coming at you with a commission for Shane. It is Mecha Sonic Mark II. Yes, the savvy among you may remember last August when I made one of these for myself using a Grim Sonic figure as the base, but this time I'm making it as a commission, proving that I did a good job the first time. Now, there is a thing. At the time, I used a Grim Sonic because I happened to find it at retail easier, but I always figured that this figure would be better made using a Chaos Sonic figure as the base instead. Mostly because Chaos Sonic has better elbow joints. He has like a universally jointed elbow that affords him a bicep swivel and would still give him a wrist swivel even if, you took the hands off. So, yeah, Chaos Sonic has that joint, whereas Grim Sonic does not. So that's what made me think that, it would be a better base. Aside from that, the same 3D printed parts as I used last time, based off of, that model I downloaded from Sketchfab. And, yes, we are going to get into the work. So the first thing we do is dismantle the figure. The shoulders and hips don't really come out because of the material that the torso is made out of, but the arms and the legs dismantle to this degree. Discard the head, the feet, the hands, and, it's not really shown here, but I would be cutting the forearms a little shorter so that they would fit inside of the new forearms. In fact, let's show it right here. The sculpting involves sculpting over, the very skinny little chest that Chaos Sonic has to make the much, more filled-in mechanical chest that Mecha has. And I implanted the elbows into the forearms, making sure to put the elbow joints deep enough that, they bend at the right place. That was another flaw of my own personal Mecha Sonic figure. I didn't put the elbows in deep enough, so it looked like the arms are bending at the wrong point. I have since fixed that on my own figure, but I wanted to make sure that it would be right the first time on this one, because I wouldn't be able to make adjustments later on. Once all the joints were, established to fit into each other, they just needed a paint job. The arms are pretty straightforward, like blue and silver. But the figure would need shoulder pads. And these shoulder pads, they were already on the Grim Sonic figure. That is one thing that it had going for it. But they were simple enough to replicate using a little bit of craft foam for this. Of course, I didn't have any blue craft foam, so I had to paint the craft foam blue, but once I did that, simply gluing them onto the balls of his shoulders kind of made the look pretty much perfect, both on the front and the back. I know, Mecha Sonic probably doesn't have the little turbine in his back like this, but, it's just such a nice little part of the sculpt, I didn't really want to mess that up. The legs are a little bit more of a complicated affair. Once the feet were printed out, I had to cut the bottom part of the legs in such a way that they would fit onto there. I also made sure, I measured with my Grim Sonic Mecha Sonic figure to make sure that the hips were the right height, so I wasn't making this figure too short by accident. They're held on by a combination of, those little transparent sticks that the Mega Construx figures come with so you can use them as a transparent stand for action poses? Yeah, I used that. I cut one into smaller pieces, embedded it partway into the foot that I printed out. Then I drilled a hole up into the leg, which the leg that the figure came with went into. A little bit of epoxy it's held in with crazy glue, of course, but a little bit of epoxy to smooth everything over and really make sure it's cemented in there and won't come falling out. And that is how you get Mecha Sonic's legs. Of course, although the height is accurate enough and the shapes are there, it is cheating a little bit because that's not where his knees go. The knees are actually, you could see where the knees are. If this was a proper made-for-purpose Mecha Sonic, we all know that the knees would actually be down where the armor meets it. But again, this is a custom. We work with an existing toy modified to look the right way, so, it's not going to be 100%. But I still think that it's at least 90% when you use this base figure. Now, there was a little bit of a delay as my Rust-Oleum matte sealant ran out, and I had to wait until the next day to get a fresh can of it from Home Depot. But I did, and now we have a completed Mecha Sonic Mark II, done using Chaos Sonic as the base. At first glance, it pretty much looks exactly like the last one I did, which, of course, is awesome. Like, this version of this Terminator robot of Sonic just aura farms by simply standing there. But because of the superior arm articulation, he's actually a little bit more posable. So he can take on all your best Mario Bros. Z poses. So yes, that is Mecha Sonic Mark II made for Shane. Really proud of how it came out because I really do love this character. Thank you all for watching this video, and this is Wake Angel 2001, wondering when Jakks Pacific is going to make an official one of these, and I get to do the same thing that I did with Neo Metal Sonic. Well, Sonic, take us out like you always do.
Oh, hey everybody, it's me, Sonic the Hedgehog. Just here to remind you that if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. And for even more amazing customs, don't forget to subscribe to Wake Angel 2001, because between you and me, they're way past cool.